this most festive Tuesday night. We're going to do a quick one tonight. Just getting a lot of stuff done. Finally, the last of the kids bounced today. My little brother went home. So it's been like 5-6 weeks since it's just been us at the house now. So, man, I didn't jump deep into it last night because of obviously the flooding and everything that's taken place. But I do want to get into the insanity of the Epstein stuff. And it is the hilarity of it all, not what happened, but the way it's been handled, which has been arguably the most piss poor thing that you may have seen. And earlier today, this sums everything up. At the big meeting, right? They're all around the table. They're praising Trump, oh, the big, beautiful bill and all that kind of stuff, whatever. But then somebody goes, hey, Pam, hey, that whole thing. It's like, what was that about? Like with the dude, the pedophile, the guy that you were attorney general of Florida who got the sweetheart deal, that guy. What happened? Like, where do we go outside? When do we get the next folder for us to find out who's on the list?
He did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the set?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Pam, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but...
No. This isn't about success or tragedy. This is about the fact that you promised a group of people, you made this something. This big deal over, this is what it's all about. We got to protect everybody. We got to find out, right, who's on the list, the whole 9 yards. And this is a big deal to your supporters. And to a lot of people, by the way, because I see the Democrats are like, you know what, maybe we should see what's on the list. First of all, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to tell you why we're not going to get the list, why I wasn't surprised. But when I hear him, are they still talking? Are they talking about? Yes, they're talking about it. You've dogged and pony showed this thing forever. Release the list. But it was a giant. There are so many moments in this situation that when you go watch Geraldo and the whole Capone safe open live was not as bad as this. Jack Posobiec, good dude by all accounts. Seems to be a really good guy. My buddy Chris works with him and talks to him all the time. Big, let's get the list. Let's get the big believer here. Your core base wanted this. They want the list. Where's the list? Why aren't people in cuffs? How did this guy act with impunity? Have all this money? Oh my God. And now it's like, there's nothing to see here. So take our word for it. Believe us. Don't look over here.
And once again, we are told now, all the way from the heights of the United States Attorney General, that the Epstein case is closed. There's no more information on Jeffrey Epstein. Why do you guys keep asking about Jeffrey Epstein? She says that we don't need to hear about Jeffrey Epstein ever again. You know what this sounds like? I'm going to tell you exactly what this sounds like. Pam Bondi sounds like Hillary Clinton right now saying, at this point, what does it even matter, when she was talking about Benghazi? All right. This is not how you treat the American people. This is not how you treat basic communications. This is not how you treat your voters and your supporters. And certainly, by the way, myself personally, I feel very angry, upset, used, every word you want to know, from having gone to the White House and receiving this binder full of baloney that was completely publicly available information already that we were told was new information on Epstein. It wasn't. We were told that more information was coming. There wasn't. You claimed that you had the list on your desk. You didn't. and none of it came out. And now when people have the obvious response of asking a question about it, you get in their faces and you tell them to stop asking. No, you sound like Hillary Clinton right now, and this isn't what you promised the American people.
There you go. It's that simple. It's embarrassing is why. It's embarrassing because you promised all of this stuff. Promises made, promises. No, you failed. You failed. Heidi Fleiss kept a diary. She wrote about it. The Madam of Hollywood. She kept the diary. This guy had nothing? You mean to tell me that? You mean to tell me a guy that had video cameras everywhere, had all of these things, kept nothing? You mean to tell me that? You mean to tell me out of all of the stuff, all of this shit, Prince Andrew was the big fish? Right? Like, how was he the big fish? Is there something we don't know? Was he supposed to be the Antichrist? Is that what he, what was it? I mean, I'm curious. And for me, I never thought we were going to get anything. And I'm going to tell you guys right now why. And it's the saddest part of all of this. Because our government knew. And they were okay with it. And the Mossad obviously knew. And they were okay with it. And the last thing that any administration wants to get out is, oh, by the way, Uncle Sam was a pimp for underage girls because the ends justified the means. Did we know? Yeah. You think? I'm going to assume we probably did know a lot more. How did he get all this money? Who knows? How did he do a lot of the things? Who knows? Even people in the past, people that were prosecuted. Yeah, well, what we hear is this guy is part of intelligence. The last thing you would want to get out is your country is, well, shitty. Oh, what do you mean? Oh, well, if we really knew, and to think that we didn't know some of this stuff would be bullshit. Do you think you'd want that to get out? That we knew that this SOB was trafficking in young women to powerful people. And it doesn't have to be leaders of the free world. It can be power brokers who can get things done in areas that maybe us and Israel and stuff couldn't operate. So that's why we were never getting any of this. That's why we were never getting any of it. But they said they were. Man, I look at, Dan Bongino and you look at Kash Patel and them, and they look, oh yeah, take our word for it. Yes, here's the thing. It's like, yeah, we tried. And it was like, we looked and we're like, well, it's pretty much did what he said. No, nobody buys it. You couldn't even come out and sell the bullshit in a better way by coming out and go, look, guys, there's a lot of stuff that you hint around and say, there's a lot of stuff in here that we still have to go through. And this is a lot more in-depth and detailed, and the scope is global. And so there are a lot of things we're working on with other agencies, something like that. You came out and you just farted in everyone's Cheerios and walked away. You crop dusted. And there you go. And then for Trump to come out and go, are they still talking about? Yes. You're Jack Posobiec there. He's like, he feels screwed. This was a big deal. So, no, I was never surprised this was the outcome. I think a lot of people probably thought, well, maybe it's the Mossad. There was a lot going on with this guy. And I think people realize that. You don't have cameras in the room. You don't have a lot of these things spread about, rubbing elbows with people on an island and not have some protection until it wasn't worth it anymore for them. And he become too much of a liability. And then all of a sudden, whatever happened. but you disappointed your people. And I'm not talking about the people who voted for you. I'm talking about the people who support you through thick and thin. And the thick was there for a while. It's getting a little thinner. People are not, they're not as thrilled by some of this stuff that they were very, very, very excited to get, because they thought there was going to be perp walks and people are going to be going to jail and we're going to see this big fall of the deep state. And you know what? Bondi, Patel, and Bongino, they became order takers. They got a tap on the shoulder and they're like, oh, and they're like, you're not saying a word. This goes way past your pay grade, guys. The different world. Sucks, but that's the reality of it. So let's not pretend that there wasn't a lot more to the story and that this is, well, we looked and we couldn't find anything. We have tens of thousands and hundreds of hours of child porn and all of this horrific stuff. But we don't have anything else and there's nothing to see here. So, he killed himself on his own. Maybe. Look, I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy, but come on. You can't look and go, maybe a little something, maybe just a smidge of something. Maybe. And finally tonight, again, because we're doing so much and tomorrow we're going to have a big hour plus show. My uncle and I doing a lot of stuff, talking a little bit about this One Big Beautiful Bill and stuff, which by the way is, there's still a lot to go into One Big Beautiful Bill. People ask me, do you think it's a good thing? No, I don't think it's a good thing. I think there's a lot of debt. I think there's a lot of pork in it. I think the rich are getting richer. And I think there's a lot of, I think people got duped because they kept saying, if you don't pass it, we're going to go into a recession. We're going to do this. People are looking around going, I'm not 100% sure. Trump celebrates a win, but is it a win for everybody or is it a win for few? Well, everybody got a little bit at first, but a few got a lot of it. And I think that's a serious issue that may come back and bite them. Luckily for the Republicans, they're going up against the Democrats who are useless. They're as useless as a roller skate on a fish. Useless. But before we do that, and we'll talk about that again tomorrow, Superman. So I don't know what rendition of Superman this is. Whatever it is, I can guarantee you I've never been a big comic book guy. And we'll get more into it with my uncle tomorrow night because he's like the video game nerd and all the whole 9 yards and creative video games like World of Warcraft and Diablo and all that stuff. First of all, don't talk politics anymore. Don't talk the politics when it comes to what do you think of our, movie and what is it about and stuff. It's Superman. It's fine. It's about Superman. He flies down. He's like, woo, no. So they asked James Gunn, hey, what's this all about? And he goes into the immigration thing because that's apparently what you have to do now. Like in Hollywood, they're like, what's my talking point here to be woke or to stand up and say something?
Is exactly what the movie is about. I think that we support our people, we love our immigrants. Yes, Superman is an immigrant. And yes, the people that we support in this country are immigrants. And if you don't like that, then you're not American. People.
Okay. So if you don't like that, you're not American. Whatever. Like, who's that for? Nobody is saying to themselves, hey, you know what? Superman, was he from Guatemala? None of that stuff. Right? It is none of that stuff. Superman is Superman. He's not an illegal alien. He's an alien. Because let's be honest, okay, for just a second. An alien lands here today. The whole world is going to be fighting the developed world to get them to come there, to share their technology and all of that stuff. So let's be honest about that. Secondly, who again is that for? Don't put your movie behind the eight ball with everybody out there who wants to go and trash it. Now, I haven't seen the last several Supermans. The last Superman I think I saw that was something I wanted to see was the audition of Nicolas Cage. And can we just be honest for a second? You make Nicolas Cage Superman, I will see it fucking every day. Because Nicolas Cage is the greatest actor in the history of mankind. And I love somebody who can't say no to anything. It's like, what's the position? What am I doing? I'm playing a mute that drives a ice cream truck that has to save a little girl from a gangster, and she doesn't know sign language, and I have a samurai sword, but I can also travel in time. Yeah, I'll do it. That's the beauty of him. I don't know if it's going to be any good. I don't. But watching people react to this day, they're woke again, they're this again. You know what it is? Just don't say anything. Just don't. You know what you do for Hollywood? Here's some advice. Come out. What's the movie about? It's about Superman. What is it? He's awesome. He comes down here. He's got all kinds of powers. It's going to be great. It's Superman. This one's a little bit different because it's a little bit more fun. He's a little bit more goofy, a little bit more charming. He's not the brooding type, right? He's not angry or, and it's a little bit more fun in that way. And there's no politics in it. It's just a good time. That's all it is. It's a good time. And that's what I want people to do. We people to come here, put everything aside, left and right, black, white, gay, straight, and just enjoy a movie rather than drag something in. And then all of a sudden, even if it's not like that, it will keep people from wanting to go see the movie. As our buddy Red talking like that keeps me from seeing it in the theaters because they feel like, oh my God, I'm going to go and I'm going to get preached to by people in Hollywood who seem to make movies for people in Hollywood and forget that there's the rest of the world. Maybe that would be it. We shall see. Fun tonight, short one tonight. Tomorrow, again, about an hour and a half or so. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of crazy stories we didn't get to. We're going to have more about the talking a little bit deeper in depth in the One Big Beautiful Bill and several other things, including more on Epstein and the chaos there. And I'm hearing, from a lot of people I know who support Trump, who are pissed and angry. And I don't think this is going away anytime soon. And we're also going to talk some more, tomorrow as we're finding out more about what's going on in Texas and the horrors of it, and listening to Abbott today, as frustrated as he is, because we no longer want to even get through the grief stage, as we talked about last night, when it comes to the tragedy. We go directly to the blame game. And as I said last night, I'll say it over and over again, we're a reactionary society. And we're not looking to fix the problem. We just want to find out who we blame, which is a sad state on a lot of what goes on in this country and in politics as well. So we'll talk about that tomorrow night and a bunch about Elon. Of course, Elon came out tonight and now then said, hey, Bannon's also on the list. You're like, oh, this is going to get better. I said when Elon tweeted out, when he tweeted out about the whole thing with Trump doesn't want the Epstein thing to come out because he's on the list. When I said that, I was like, there's no walking that one back, right? It's hard to have 212 million people see a thing that says, oh, by the way, the president of the United States is a pedo, right? And that's a hard thing to walk back from. You don't go, dude, I was just kidding. I was just saying that's one of those ones where you stepped over it, and he's even more pissed. But I do want to talk about his third party. If there's a chance for a third party, could you see a third party? Could it make a difference? We'll find out. And it'll be interesting to find out how that will actually break itself down. If it is possible. So it's not impossible, but it's tougher than I think people realize. And yeah, our buddy Big Red said, Biden would have released it if Trump was on it. Of course, everybody would. And they all may be on it. But if everybody being on it means that everybody's on it and everybody in the intelligence agency world knew about it and was absolutely fine with it, that makes things a whole lot different if they were essentially sanctioning, a pedo ring. Because the ends justify the means. And if they means they got, junk on people that they can hang over people's heads to get deals done, alliances done, whatever it is. Yeah. So that's why even if Trump was on it, chances are if he was on it, which look, a lot of things drive me crazy about Trump. I've never once thought he was on it at all. Yeah, they did some traveling. There's pictures. They hung out. But once he got popped and he was done, Trump stayed away from him. And I never thought that. Trump, I never have gotten the impression that Trump's like, oh, I really dig 15-year-olds. I never got that. 24-year-olds, adult film actresses, those kind of things. Yeah, but not the other stuff. Just like I never thought Clinton, Bill's like, oh man, I never thought Bill was that way. I thought Bill like 22-year-old co-eds. Okay. Call it gross, call it whatever he is, but still, who else is on there? So who else? Yeah. And Valiant Thor said Bongino and Patel wanted to burn the whole thing down. They all did until they found out that they were going to be lighting a match that was going to consume everything that they believed and loved. And that's got to be a nut kicker, right? You have this belief in your country and this altruistic, we are, life, liberty, pursuit of freedom and all these kind of things. But there are a lot of things that go on that, we sleep well at night thinking of the life, the liberty, the whole 9 years and all the great. But to be that beacon on the hill, people get dirty and sometimes things are nasty. And I would, even today, because Bongino was in my business for a long time. Like I said, I've met Bongino a couple times and he was very affable in, some of these things that you go out and do. And how do you walk this back if you're him? Because I look at him and I think, man, he looks like if he could just go back to saying, Mr. President, I don't feel like doing it. I like what I do now. I think he would do it. I think he would. But he's not. And now I think he's in a place where I don't think he's thrilled because I think he's having to tell the American people something that he probably doesn't want to tell them. And he's probably looking around, and if there is a list or there is, because there's got to be a lot more of this. Come on, we're not idiots. And thinking to himself, maybe there's some people on there that he once admired or thought were good people, and he find out they're kind of scumbags. That happens, right? So we shall see. You guys have a blessed night. Well, do it again tomorrow. If you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. Go to Chad Benson Show on the YouTube. Like and subscribe. We appreciate it when you do that. Share all this stuff. And we'll see you tomorrow night with fun and frivolity and all the other stuff that happens. You guys have a good night.